What up, humans? It's Empress, and welcome to Ease with Empress. I am so excited to join you today and bring to you a full moon spread. So, this is going to be a collective reading, very general, but this is a spread that I would normally do for my individual readings. So, I say that with the note that if you are interested in having a private reading or a personal reading, those are available, and I will leave that in the link below so that you can access that. But like I said, this is going to be a general collective reading for the collective here on Ease with Empress. So I'm so excited as we are growing our collective. I'm also really excited because this is the first full moon here on Ease with Empress on this platform. And I'm just really excited to dive into the different ways that we can celebrate the full moon and or bring highlight to it. Um, and so yeah, so this will be the first one. I will be referring to some notes as this is a practice that I have been, like I used to use back in 2021. Kind of like when I first started doing readings with cards. So I will be referring to that because it is a very specific spread, and then later I will share. I mean, as we go, I'll share like the different cards and what comes up. So the very first card, we're gonna get straight into it, is where are you in life right now? And so I'm just calling in clarity and like zoning in for this collective, those who are watching, that these messages that are delivered and brought to the forefront bring clarity, bring some guidance and direction. And I hope that there is a clearance of confusion through this experience. So yeah, so where are you in life right now? We have the Lover's card. So the Lover's card is really like talking about like split decisions, you know. Where you are right now is you are positioned in a place of choosing your own path. And so whether that be choosing like choosing yourself, or like choosing to support yourself more definitely, that is where you are right now. And so in that position, like the divine saying, okay, you are at the forefront of a choice. You are either making judgments or called to make judgment on one thing or another. And so this card is really saying, like, you know, you're in a place where it's time to make decisions. You got to make up your mind. Make up your mind on what it is that you want, where you want to be, what it is that you see for yourself. But it's time for you to choose like your path and make your own decisions. Um, for our next card, we have, how do you project yourself to the world? What is the truth of your relationships in your life? And so, yes, how do you project yourself in the world? How do you put yourself out there? How do you how do you position yourself out there? So, as I say this, I like to repeat the question a few times just because as I'm speaking over the cards, I like to be very clear in what it is that I'm asking. And so, yes, I'm going to break up the question so that it's not so much at once. So the first part is, how do you project yourself? How do you project yourself to the world? I just got like 4 cards, yo. 4 cards at once. And let me charge this bad boy. But yeah, 4 cards at once. And what it's saying to me is that like how you project yourself to the world is kind of like, I was gonna say like you got it all together, but it's like you project yourself outwardly like you don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if I'm capable, or I don't know, like you don't really know, or like you kind of like have yourself in a chokehold, limiting yourself and not really for sure. But then like underlying, like you are this star, you are abundant, you have this overflow of love and you're like a fountain, like you're ever flowing, you're abundant. And then like you could have anything that you desire, but because you sit in the space of indecisiveness or unsurety, um, it's like you kind of like hinder that from manifesting. And so yeah, it's like I don't know, like you give off this sense of like, oh, like I got it, I can do this. But then when you're actually positioned before things, or you have the opportunity to make it happen, then it's like a lot of doubt, a lot of hesitation. Like, I'm not sure, I thought I could, but maybe not. What if I do this instead? And like your angels are kind of like, yo, like I didn't put you here just to like not be sure of what you want or what you desire. Like you got it. You are being poured into, so pour back into others, and utilize your resources around you. And so, what is the truth of your relationships in your life? Perhaps you don't utilize your resources, or like capitalize on the relationships around you. You kind of reserve yourself, maybe in fear that you are a burden, or that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy. But this response here is like letting you know you are worthy, you are abundant, you have the capacity, you have the resources to unfold into this like reality that you see yourself in. So go for it, and really like reimagine who you are to yourself. And on to the next card, it says, what is blocking your desires and goals? So if you are watching right now, I want you to imagine your goals and your desires, and what you see them to be, and what you imagine yourself progressing to, what those goals are, what those desires are. What are blocking those goals and desires? Okay, that's way too many cards. So what I get here, we have the two of Pentacles and the High Priestess, as well as the Six of Swords. Typically I just seek for one card on these, but as I said, this is for the collective. So if one of these or the other resonates or doesn't, like, take it as you will. But what's blocking you from your goals and desires? Your goals and desires are like aligning with harmony and balance, like having this groundedness about you, this assurity. But then there's this other like process within that, is like there's things germinating, like there's still things being developed. Okay, we talk about the seed here a lot. We always talk about the process of growth, and recognizing that growth is not linear. Growth is not like only in one direction. It's simultaneously going in opposite directions, both in through the roots and as well as above ground. And take that metaphor and embody that in so many other ways. You have to go down to go up. There is this blockage, this limiting mindset that if you are not rising, if you are not going up or elevating in your perspective, that you aren't doing anything at all. And the divine is like, that's not true. Like, you are doing things. You have so much at the forefront, and you have so many things that maybe you don't recognize. But when we talk about the Six of Swords, when we talk about the Six of Swords, it's really like this limiting belief. It's this huge thought of lack, this big cloud of lack that is hanging on to the past and hanging on to what used to happen and what was and how things used to be, or how you anticipate things to be because they never have, or because you've never seen it before. But just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean that it's not happening, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, whatever it is for you. And so that is a huge thing that is blocking your goals and desires. Your goals and desires are very well on their way to you. They're very much instilled in you. But what is blocking that is the mind, the process of the mind. The mind is thinking that whatever is brewing cannot be manifested, or isn't going to be manifested, because it's in the process of building up, because it's in the process of growing. Again, back to the seed, your roots are growing, your flower is on its way. Maybe it's in the bud, maybe it had shriveled up because of the weather. There's a lot of elements that go into the growth process. And so having grace with yourself, having patience, and understanding that things don't happen overnight. And even if you've been on this trek for some time, maybe like assessing your thought process so that you are able to attract otherwise. Because if you're continuously running on this loop of whatever you believed before, it's going to continue to do that. Doing the same things, expecting different results, leads to insanity. So taking yourself out of that loop to venture out onto a new journey and seeing what other resources and tools, again, back to our relationships, reevaluating the relationships we have in our life, and how can we eliminate those that aren't serving us, and maybe activate more of those that could. Hope y'all following me, hoping that's making sense. I affirm it is. All right, moving on to our next card, we have, what do you need to overcome these obstacles? Okay. What do you need to overcome these obstacles? So we talked about the obstacles is imagining that we have a lack of balance, thinking that we have a lack of balance due to past experiences. And so we want to get past those blockages. So what do we need to overcome those blockages? We have the Knight of Wands. I hear take action. Go for it. Set up an action plan. Like what steps do you need to take? What habits do you need to build to become that version of yourself, to be who it is that you desire, to align with those goals? A lot of times we talk about finances, we talk about money, and so a lot of times our mind is the main thing that is drifting us away into the abyss of lack, into the abyss of struggle, into the abyss of impossible ideas. But really, like, it's about how do you want to feel? Like, I'm trying to verbalize this a certain way, but like, what makes you feel the most comfortable as being on this planet? What are the things that bring most joy on this planet? And like, how can you embody this essence of ease, right? And so the more you sit still, the harder it is to see anything being possible. And so I am a huge advocate for journaling, using your journal to see everything clearly, writing it down. If you don't have a journal, get a scratch piece of paper. Like, start somewhere and write out your ideas. Write all of those things out. Write all of the limiting beliefs. Look at it on paper so that it's not just roaming around in your space of a head, okay? In your head space. And see what possibilities can unfold whenever you allow yourself to step beyond the same loop that is ongoing for yourself. And imagine it, some people need to get outside more. Some people need to get offline more and just sit within their own essence, sit within their own space. Sometimes we are so quick to seek guidance from outside of ourselves that we don't trust ourselves enough to know that we have the answers already. Okay? So, take that as you will. The next one is, what can you do within yourself in order to help achieve those goals? I feel like I'm stepping one step ahead as I'm talking about these things because, I mean, I'm pretty sure I just said it, but we gonna see what the divine has to say, what these cards have to say of what you can do within yourself in order to help achieve those goals. Okay. We have more wands, and every time the wands come out, the wands are coming out in reverse. So it's kind of giving like you aren't sure what you're passionate about. You feel like you've lost your passion, but there's infinite passion. Like there's this fire that rings within you that's like there's this fire within you that only you know about, and maybe like few sprinkles of people have seen like little bits and pieces of that version of you, but overall it's like, let the beast out, let the lion roar, like let her shine. And don't let your environment, don't let the illusion of the world around you stop you and make you think that you are not capable, or that you are less than, or that you are not worthy. You are fully capable of achieving these goals, and you just have to put your mind to it. You have to just take one step forward, just move a little bit, like move a little bit towards the action, or move a lot of it actually. Like just go for it, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're passionate about something, there's no hesitation. There's literally nothing that can stop you or that can block you from getting to that goal and desire. It's like, okay, so we have a few things. So taking action, remembering your passion, be around those that celebrate you. Like maybe your environment isn't one that is allowing for the celebration of the craft that you want to introduce to the world. Celebrate, or being in a space where you're celebrated, walking in the rooms where people light up when you come into the room. Those are the spaces that you want to feel yourself in, or occupy. That's the place that you want to find yourself. And really like switching and shifting direction, stepping outside of that same box or the same loop that we've seen ourselves in, stepping beyond that. Maybe becoming or practicing vulnerability more. Yeah, allowing yourself to be more vulnerable with those around you, or maybe loved ones, or people that are close to you. And I get connect to the divine more. So I get the Hanged One, and the Hanged One is like okay. And then as I just said that, and anyways, okay, the Hanged One is like someone that is in the waiting phase, in the waiting period. But it's interesting because as I was saying that, I was like, it's like really, you're not really waiting. It's just like the divine is waiting on you to listen. Like, when are you going to hear my voice? When are you going to hear me loud and clear? And I say that because Eight of Swords comes out, where it's like, again, we are surrounded by our thoughts. We are encapsulating ourselves in our thoughts, and we have like locked ourselves in this bondage, but we put ourselves here. So if you put yourself in, you can get yourself out. And this right here is like, take yourself out of that. It's literally, you just tied up, like this bondage that you put yourself in. Take yourself out of that. Step outside of that. That what's the word? Like outside of that cage. You fill in the blank. Step outside of it and allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to become. Our next thing here. Ooh, what can you learn from the outside world or others to help you manifest your goals and desires? What can you learn from the outside world and others to help you manifest your goals and desires? What can you learn from those around you? What can you learn from your environment? What can you learn from the space around you, nature, outdoors? Somebody's really passionate about something and they not speaking up. Like, you know which way you want to go. You know, like, what you're great at. You know that as soon as you pop off on the boys, like, they ain't gonna be able to handle you. But there's something or someone or somewhere that you've been that made you feel like you shouldn't do it. And all I'm getting is that you just need to go far, far, far away from that space. Whether physically or mentally, step away from that shit. Like, step away from the enemy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, this is a funny example. So there's an episode, if y'all don't or do watch Bluey, then hop on it, okay? There's this episode of Bluey where where the family of the parents were about to go to bed, or they had their after hour, time to themselves. And Bluey comes down and was like, what are y'all doing after I go to bed? And they're like, yo, if you don't go to bed, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward into that, they start to do a bedtime story. And there's this character, the something unicorn or unihorse, that was like being super annoying. Like, didn't want to get out of the mix and kind of like really annoying Bluey, which when you think about it, tables turned and Bluey was like, oh my gosh, like, he won't leave us alone. And the mom is like, well, if you don't pay attention to it, he'll eventually stop. He'll have to find something else to do. And it was so cute because the character, the unihorse, I forgot how it was. But anyways, that character, that animal, which was a puppet, that kept bothering them, by the 20th time of them like coming in and out, they were like, okay, Blue, don't acknowledge it. It came up and then Blue's like, but then mom was like, hey, chill. And then vice versa. Mom got frustrated and Blue was like, remember, it doesn't exist. It's not there. Like, don't even acknowledge it. And eventually when they stopped acknowledging that entity, then it was like, what? Like, you're not going to pay attention to me? You're not going to respond? And eventually, like, created its own character to fight with and bicker with, and then destroyed itself. And so I use that example because it's the most like simple, humble, and innocent example of not paying attention to the things that aren't bringing you joy, they aren't bringing ease to your life, letting it go. Don't even acknowledge it. Don't allow it to fester up your emotions. Just walk away, just step away, or don't even look that way, And so, just as I was thinking about that, we had 5 of Swords come up, and so you have your 7 of Wands, encouraging you to step towards your passion, walk into that, do it, whatever your passion is. Let us know in the comments, what are you passionate about? What are you most passionate to take action towards? And 5 of Swords, walk away from the things that distract you from that, because it is simply just that. It is a distraction. You have those entities, those energies, those people that are in your life that are happy to see you do things. Oh, okay. They're happy to see you do things, but then they also get upset because then it's no longer about them. And so this is an encouragement to tap into that. Again, it's going to require you to be vulnerable as well, but not vulnerable with them, more so vulnerable with yourself, like being truthful with yourself. Get real about it, okay? And yeah, then we go into our projected outcome. So with all of these things, finding balance, choosing ourselves, stepping into our truth, um, stepping into what makes us feel most um, comfortable or at ease or joyful, blissful in this lifetime as a creature, stepping into that. And again, doing what makes us passionate. And lastly, we have Nine of Wands and the Hermit. She like, girl, get into your shell. Like, step away from all the mess. It's time for a detox. It's time to let a lot of people and things go. Obviously, we're talking about a full moon spread here. So this full moon in Cancer is a really beautiful time to retreat. It is an awesome time to have a reset with yourself for these next 28 days, to reset with yourself, to reassess, okay, how does this energy make me feel? What is it that is being reciprocated here? And if nothing, where and what do I need to do? So goodness, we're gonna have to get some order around here. Okay, I want to also go over these cards and pull through with a oracle card. We're gonna go through what are three affirmations and three goddesses that are here on the forefront for this collective reading. For this collective reading, that is here to support and uplift and really ground this collective in this reading for them to continue forward and reach that projected outcome. We have joy, we have good juju, we have harvest, level up, and grief. Okay. I love these cards. I love every single one of these cards because joy is telling us that I feel like when I'm happy. She has helped me in so many journeys, and I don't even need the book to talk about this. I can go on and on, but I won't go for long. I just want to say, like, joy, even when you're in environments where you feel like finding joy is absolutely impossible, there's always the seed of gratitude. The seed of gratitude and planting that seed is so tremendously powerful. It will uplift your life from the moment that you plant that seed. And I'm very passionate about this card because when I used to say this affirmation to myself and I would say, I feel like when I'm happy, and I wasn't actually happy, it shifted me into all the possibilities of what that could look like. And also recognizing that I had so much to be happy for. And so then I really just started to take inventory on the things that brought me joy, on the things that made me laugh throughout the week, on the things that made me smile. And little by little, I kind of had this redirection of my focus, my redirection of my heart posture, a redirection of my attention to realize that there's so much to be joyful about. And so, yes, I hope that that seed of light empowers you to recognize, no matter what your environment looks like, you are basked in joy. Okay, basked. Then there's this next card, good juju. She says, all I do is win. Okay, all you do is win. That's it, period. You go win no matter what. You're always making the right decision. So there's no need for you to tiptoe around the idea of the things that bring you joy, or if you should take steps towards your passion. Like, if you are passionate about it, if it brings you joy, if it even lights you up thinking about it, that is what you need to do. And so we get on to the next card. We talking about harvest. We are harvesting the tools. We're harvesting the knowledge. We're harvesting the resources. We're harvesting the experiences and bringing it all to the forefront, bringing it right up in front of us to smell the roses or taste the veggies or whatever those things of pleasure and joy that you have sown and poured into along the way. Those are things that we want to intake, that we want to bring our attention to. And it's just so beautiful also because it's really easy for us to kind of lose sight of the seeds that we've sown. Like I said at the beginning or throughout, we sow seeds sometimes and we water it and we're excited from the first week, and the second week we're so excited, and the third week, because in the video they said, oh, grow this thing in 3 weeks, and you get to the third week and by that time things have changed, more challenges have presented themselves, schedule conflicts or redirection, everything didn't go as planned on this day, and so now this day is a little bit different, and we get so caught up in the whirlwind of change, which is inevitable, that we forget that we sowed a seed of change. And so sometimes we get caught up on that change and we get so flustered and so frustrated that it didn't go the way that we planned it or that we anticipated, but that seed is growing and shifting and requiring you to become a different version of yourself than where you started when you first had the seed, right? It's requiring you to be more responsible, more organized, more on top of things, to share more of yourself or to not share so much of yourself. It's calling you to be a different version of yourself than when you first started. And so, no, you won't be the same person by the end of that growth. And maybe this seed won't flourish if you choose not to change, right? So there's that opportunity. With that being said, we have the opportunity to level up, okay? Oh, and I didn't even say what her affirmation is. Let me get into that. Okay, so harvest, her affirmation is, we are always prospering, okay? We are always prospering is what she has to say here. And level up. Girl, level up, level up, level up. Like, once you get through, okay, let me say this. We are our biggest asset. We are our greatest resource, ourselves. We have been there through it all. We have been through all of the experience, all of the journeys, all of the relationships, the conversations, the workshops, the classes. We've been through it all, right? So we are our greatest asset. We are our greatest resource. And so when you remember that, like, you recognize all of that, all of which you have harvested, okay? And I'm gonna say that you can't harvest anything other than what you've sown, but I don't want that to narrow our way of thinking, because it's not just what you've sown. Like, the seeds that you've sown, yes, but then you also sow seeds via other people. Like, you sow a seed through someone else who decided to sow a seed, and in turn you receive the abundance of that seed because you have communicated and built a relationship, right? It all starts with you. Your environment creates your reality, and in turn you are doing so. I don't want to ramble into it because I feel like I'm building a map here to dive deep, but all in all, to say, whatever you've sown and the things that you harvest are the tools that support you in your level up journey. And yes, so level up, she's saying divine timing is on my side. Remember that divine timing is on your side. I feel like we've acknowledged this a few times throughout this reading. And so recognizing, remembering divine timing is on your side. You are always in alignment. There's nothing that is too late or too early for you. It's always happening exactly as it should. And again, things don't happen the way that we expect them to or that they should, because they're happening exactly the way that they need to in alignment, okay? In divine timing. And we have grief. Grief. This card used to scare me, okay? Grief used to scare me a lot because of the connotation or the context that it holds in society. But I actually get really excited about grief because it is more than just this sad feeling. It is beyond it's beyond sadness, okay? I'll say that. Now, yes, sadness is a level of experience through grief, I think. But I think that it has the potential to rise into elevation, into enlightenment, into joy. And reason being is because, one, it's affirmation, which I'll get to, but two, because when grief is present, miracles happen. When grief is present, it is symbiotic to growth. It is when we have to let go of things, whether it is our norm or a close one, or this sense of normalcy. We grieve a lot of things. And so this card just encourages us to surround ourselves around love and nurturing. And, you can receive that from the earth. You can receive that from water. You can receive that from fruits. You can receive that from taking care of yourself in whatever degree that goes. But it reminds us that we are supported. We are supported by loved ones. And so I'll read it verbatim. It says, I am supported by my loved ones, those who are seen and those who are unseen. I went from fearing this card to really loving it because it ushered me into the process of trusting the divine, into giving it all to the elements and letting go of the fear that I didn't have control, because it was an opportunity for me to surrender. It says, give spirit your grief, bawl it out, wail it out, cry it out, sob, shriek, shed tears, surrender it. You are holding unprocessed grief. You want to skip over it and get back to normal, but grief doesn't go away because you ignore it. The only way to healing is walking through it. And it gets into, it says self-love, self-care are required. Ask for support and being gentle with yourself. So there it is. There has it. Okay, there she goes. That is the reading for today. And just want to consult these cards and see what numbers or elements we should be on the lookout for, or hold near or pay attention to in this time. Ace of Diamonds. Ooh, and it's red. Okay. We have Ace of Diamonds. We also have Ace of Spades. And don't do it. Clubs. 3 of Clubs. I had to work it out. Okay. Interesting. To me, the aces are like mastering of self, and 3 is all about communication, balance, the Trinity, holiness, connectiveness. It's a strong foundation, but it starts with communication. So yes. So thank you so much for tuning in. I give thanks to the divine. I give thanks for this channeled message. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to come on and do a little bit of a longer reading, as most of the readings that I do are about 15 minutes long, pretty quick. But I have so much more to share, so much more wisdom to unpack, and so many stories that have really like brought me to be this amazing being that I am. And so I am thankful to share Ease with Empress with you, whoever is tuning in. And again, like I said at the beginning, like I hope that this message finds you well. I hope that um, that you are able to find clarity and guidance through this experience. And excuse me. If you are someone that would like to receive personal readings, I do have those available. I will leave the link below in the bio and make that accessible for you. It will be available for the next 5 days from today. And so, yes, that'll be the post there. And yeah, if you're watching this in the future, tune in to more videos. I'm looking forward to being present more on this platform and bringing what I love to the web and to those that my soul tribe. You know, I've been doing this for quite a bit of time, and so I'm just really excited to connect with more beings beyond my reach in the physical. And I'm excited. I mean, I've connected with so many beings in the physical and all over, you know, just from me traveling, and it's just brought so much joy and so much like love all up in this space. And I'm grateful to finally be planted and to have utilized all of these like affirmations and things. So yeah, thank you, and we will see you next time. You can follow me on Instagram if you want at Movement Empress. If you want to see more of these videos, and if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, girl, you might as well subscribe, because you don't listen to my voice for over 40-some minutes. Whew. So we friends. All right. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all next time. Peace.